ask one of those two? Yes, sir. Because this really bothers me. Me and my wife are current people power me dealing with DTE forever. Why is it that the same storm that was in Indiana, Illinois, they got hit by tornadoes, real ones. Wisconsin comes to Michigan. Now they got 15,000, 16,000 people out of power. We got 250,000 people out there. Why is this? Now, what is the issue with the power grid in Michigan? Because we need to fix it. The people need to know what the issue is so we can fix it.
Could y'all hear him?
Yeah.
Power. You didn't gotta hear him because everybody's hearing him. So, I think there's a few problems. I think one that frustrates, it's like me as a customer. Okay? I live in Corktown in Detroit, like right across the freeway from the DTE area.
Okay.
I don't see it. So it's frustrating when it seems like the only answer to the question of what do we do is give us more money. That can't be the only answer. Right? And that's frustrating because where that money come from us paying bills. And that be paying life. That's a problem. Part of the question is, this the engineering me, about clearly we haven't built stuff in the right way. That it keeps failing, or that stuff keeps losing power, that we get floods because we lost power at a certain thing, or we don't bury power lines the way they do in other parts of the country in Michigan. And so we always got to have this whole fight with branches and trees falling on things and breaking wires. So part of it is we need to really, through the Michigan Public Service Commission process, which regulates our utility companies, to really have some harder conversations. Like, if we're gonna move forward with these investments, then this is how we need to show me a different plan. I think that's what's gotta happen. It's gotta start. And in the meantime, I know we got legislators that are working on making sure that we have more and longer power outages in Michigan than us.
Especially in Redford. No, they really got it bad about Flint and Lansing.
Whatever, bigger market. And so we must demand excellence. We must demand excellence and hold people accountable for that thing. We haven't done that. We got to.
You made the statement that you are a rebounder and that you are the backbone to the person to advance the Has Governor Whitmer endorsed you?
Governor Whitmer has not made any endorsement.
And I just want to say thank you for being here. I'm from West End. Love to meet along, love her life. And thank you.
Thank you. I'm seeing all what's next.
I need contact information.
Just a comment. I'm an undecided voter, and I was really impressed that you brought up mental health. It's so pervasive. It affects our criminal justice system. It affects our Medicaid. It affects people who are needing treatment. And the fact that you have not only brought it up but done something about it, you've implemented fixes, I'm really impressed by that. So if that's part of your platform, for someone like me that might be choosing between Democratic candidates, that really resonates. So thank you.
I want you to choose me. So let me give some context. So it's not an issue that I knew a lot about before I got elected. Okay? But here was my entry point into it. So in 2019, I co-chaired a task force on jail and pretrial incarceration with our then Chief Justice of our Michigan Supreme Court. And we spent time all over Michigan talking to people about how they had not been served well by our jail and criminal justice system, how it failed their families. And it's for people who have been, victims and survivors of crime, and people who have committed offenses, people who love people on either side of that fence. One of the things that we heard most consistently from law enforcement was that, what my people are not trained to do? Handle somebody in mental health crisis. And when somebody in law enforcement confronts somebody in mental health crisis and they're not equipped to deal with that, like only bad things happen.
Right.
So it was at the impetus of these families whose family members had been failed, and these law enforcement professionals who were saying, get somebody else to deal with this, that helped me see that we need to make these investments and put in place this program and support. Now that's on top of what had happened in Michigan since the mid-90s, when in the Engler administration, there was a decision made to stop investing in the state's mental health infrastructure. Right? So that's why 2 budget years ago, 2 or 3, sorry about 2 or 3 budget years ago, we actually finally committed to breaking ground on the first newly constructed or new modern psychiatric health complex in Michigan in 30 years. So yes, we have done some things, and I'm proud of it, and it's important. And the governor should. And since your leader addressed it earlier, let me tell you something about electability in the general election in Michigan. We need a Democratic candidate who can hold a Democratic coalition.
All right.
Okay? They can hold the whole coalition together.
Yes, sir.
And I can do that. And in the general election, it don't matter if I got one opponent or 2. We hold this coalition together, we win. We make the great precedent and we make history. That's what we do. So I need you with me. I need you to join me at garlingilchrist.com. Sign up to volunteer. Give me a few dollars. Give me $4. We're gonna do this work, and I'll be right here with you. Okay.